गुड मॉर्निंग स्टूडेंट्स। हम क्लास 9th के लिए डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन्स इन सेल्स इस टॉपिक के बारे में आज पढ़ेंगे। इसको पढ़ने से पहले मैं आपको बता दूं कि अब तक हम क्या पढ़ चुके हैं। अप टू द बोर मॉडल हमने क्या डिस्कस किया? देयर इज ए पॉजिटिवली चार्ज्ड न्यूक्लियस, अराउंड दिस इलेक्ट्रॉन्स आर मूविंग इन द सर्कुलर ऑर्बिट्स। Okay, these circular orbits were given the name energy levels, and electrons are revolving in these orbitals. They were named as 1, 2, 3, or we can say K, L, M, N, like this. Okay, so now the question arises how these electrons in the atom are distributed in these energy levels. Okay, how many electrons will be there in first cell, how many electrons would be there in second cell, how many electrons would be there in the third cell, and when the electrons will be filled in the second cell, when the electrons will be filled in the third cell. Okay, so to answer this question, a Bohr-Bury scheme was presented. Bohr-Bury scheme. Bohr-Bury scheme. Okay, according to this scheme, the electrons, maximum number of electrons, first point of the scheme was maximum number of electrons in a cell or orbit. एक orbit में maximum number of electrons कितने होंगे? Okay, it was given by a formula 2n square, where n represent the number of cell. Okay, for example, if n is 1, it means k cell. How many maximum electrons can be filled in the first cell? It would be 2 into, in place of n we can put 1. So 2 electrons can be filled in the first cell, or we can say k cell. Second, in the second cell, how many electrons can be filled? 2 into 2 square, 8 electrons. So in first cell, in K cell, 2 maximum electrons can be filled. In the second cell, there may be, okay, there may be 8 electrons. In the third cell, n is equal to 3, m cell, 2 into 3 square, maximum 18 electrons can be filled. In the fourth cell, 2 into 4 square, how many maximum electrons? 32 maximum electrons can be filled in the fourth cell, or we can say n cell. Okay, so this was the first point. How many maximum electrons can be filled in each cell? Second thing, okay, first point, maximum electron in a cell, that was given by 2n square. So we found in K maximum 2, in L maximum 8, in M 18, and 32, like this. Second point, how many maximum electron can be filled in outermost cell? Okay, so maximum number of electrons in outermost cell, may be 8. Okay, or we can say in outermost cell there may be 8 electrons, or we can say it should possess an octet. Maximum 8 electrons can be filled. Maximum 8 electrons can be filled in this outermost cell. Okay, and last one, electrons can be filled in the higher shell only when the lower shell is completely filled. Okay, so I am telling you this one, according to this, if there are 3 electrons, if suppose in an element there are 3 electrons, lithium, I am taking the example, so the second cell would be filled only when the first cell is occupying its maximum number of electrons. If 2 electrons are already filled in the K cell, then only the electron moves to the second cell. If second cell is occupying 8 electrons, then only electron would move to the third cell. Okay, so they are filled in the energy cells in the increasing order of their energies. Okay, so they move to the higher energy cell or higher energy level only when the lower energy level is completely filled. Let us see according to these postulates, or we can say these points, Bohr-Bury scheme, how can we fill the electrons in the elements. We are taking the elements up to atomic number 20, okay, or atomic number 18. So first one, hydrogen is the first element. How many electrons are there? Atomic number 1. So electrons are also 1 only. We can fill it like this one. Only one cell, and it is possessing 1 electron. Helium, atomic number 2. So there would be 2 electrons. 2 electrons would be filled in the first cell. Lithium, 3 electrons. 2 electrons would be filled in first cell. When the first cell is completely filled, the third electron moves to the second cell. Okay. Beryllium, 2 electrons would be filled in the first cell, and remaining 2 electrons moves to the second cell. Boron, 2 electrons in first cell, remaining 3 electrons to the second cell. Carbon, 2 electrons to the first cell and 4 electrons to the second cell. Okay, so like this one we goes on, we can fill the electrons up to 18. Okay, so in a tabular form we can write down how there would be the distribution of electrons. Okay, so we can write down here name of the atom or element. Okay, distribution of electron in K cell, L cell, M cell or N cell. Okay, so first element we have taken already, hydrogen. There is only 1 electron, so it will be filled in first one. Helium, 2 electrons, first cell is completely filled. Lithium, 3 electrons, first cell is completely filled, 1 electron goes to the second cell. Beryllium, 2, 2. Boron, 2, 3. Carbon, 2, 4. Like this. Okay, so after carbon we can write down nitrogen, 7 atomic number, 2, 5. Oxygen, 8 atomic number, 2, 6. Fluorine, 9 atomic number, 2, 7. Neon, 10 atomic number, 2, 8. Okay, sodium, 11 atomic number, 2, 8, 1. Magnesium, 12 atomic number, 2, 8, 2. Okay, after completely filling of second cell, electron moves to the third cell. Okay, so after magnesium we can write down aluminium. In aluminium, atomic number 13, 2, 8, 3. Total 13 electrons. Silicon, 14, 2, 8, 4. Phosphorus, atomic number 15, 2, 8, 5. Sulfur, atomic number 16, 2, 8, 6. Chlorine, 2, 8, 7. ठीक है. Argon, 2, 8, 8. Okay. After this one, we can say potassium 2881 like this. So the electrons can be filled distributed like this one. Okay. So we can, in this way, we can write down the electronic configuration up to atomic number 18. Okay. Let us see, out of these elements, some elements are least reactive, or we can say they do not react with these atoms do not react with other atoms, or they do not interact with other atoms. For example, this one helium, neon and argon. Helium 2, argon neon 10, argon 18. Electronic distribution 2, 2, 8, 2, 8, 8. It was observed that if outermost cell is completely filled, then the element do not react with any other atom. The atom do not react with other atom. And the 8 electron in the outermost cell are said to be octet. Okay. So if the octet is there in the outermost cell, then the atom do not react with the other atom. So we can say it is not having the combining capacity, or we can say it do not combine with other atoms. Okay. So we can say the combining capacity or valency. So valency is the combining capacity. So the valency for these elements which are having complete octet, the combining capacity is 0 for them. Why combining capacity is 0? Because they are already stable. They do not react with other elements. They do not react with other atoms. They do not interact with other atoms. Okay. So these valencies, how can we find out the valencies? If suppose these elements are having the complete octet. For example, this one neon is having the octet complete. Argon is having the complete octet. It is at 10, it is at 18. But there are many elements in between them. For example, sodium, magnesium, aluminium, silicon, phosphorus, sulfur and chlorine. Okay, at 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. ठीक है, 281, 282, 283, 284, 285, 286 and chlorine 287. If octet is not complete for any atom, this atom always try to complete its octet. Okay, and how this octet can be completed? It can be completed in 3 ways. By the loss of electrons, we can say gain of electron, or by saving of electron. Okay, so to complete the octet, atom either lose the electron, gain the electron or share the electron. So the number of electrons gained, lost or shared by an atom to complete its octet, the number of electrons lost, gained or shared to complete the octet is known as valency. Okay, so how can we calculate the valency? Let us find out. If there are 1, 2 or 3 electrons in the outermost cell, generally, and the previous cell is completely filled, then what it does, it generally loss of 1 electron. 1 electron is lost. So Na converts into Na plus. Na plus is having the electronic configuration 2,8. So one electron is lost. Okay, so one is the combining capacity of sodium. Combining capacity of sodium is 1. Here 2 electrons are lost. Loss of 2 electrons to complete the octet. These 2 electrons are lost to form magnesium plus 2. Okay, so if it is losing 2 electrons, then the octet is complete. So these 2 electrons which are lost is known as the valency of this element. In the same way, aluminium loses 3 electrons. So valency is 3. If there are 4 electrons, then it do not lose or gain the electrons. It share the electron. Share the electrons. 4 electrons it is having, and 4 other electrons are shared of by other atoms. For example, I am giving you one example for carbon. Okay, or for silicon we can write down SiH4. Okay, silicon is having 4 electrons in its outermost shell. There are 4 electrons in the outermost shell. It requires 4 more electrons to complete its octet. So one electron from each hydrogen is shared by silicon. Okay, silicon is sharing 2 electrons with each hydrogen. So the combining capacity of this one is 4, because 4 electrons are shared to complete 8 electron, 2 to 4 to 6 to 8. So these 4 electrons which are shared to complete the octet is known as combining capacity. So the 4 is the combining capacity of silicon. Phosphorus, there are 5 electrons. If the number of electron is close to the octet, or we can say if it is greater than 4, then combining capacity can be calculated in the different way, because they can accept 3 electrons. Okay, instead of losing 5 electrons, they accept 3 electrons to complete the octet. Okay, so this phosphorus is accepting 3 electrons to form P minus 3. And what would be the electronic configuration of P minus 3? 288, because 3 more electrons are accepted. So 3 electrons are accepted, so the valency is 3. Sometimes we can say it is minus 3. Okay, in the same way, sulfur gain 2 electrons to complete its octet. So the combining capacity of sulfur is 2. Chlorine is gaining 1 electron to complete its octet, so combining capacity is 1. So these are the electrons lost, this is the electron shared, or these are the electrons gained. The number of electrons lost, gained or shared to complete the octet is known as combining capacity or valency of the element. So simply we can say, how can we find out the valency? If in the outermost shell there are 1, 2 or 3 electrons, then it would be the valency. Okay? Valence electrons, if valence electrons means the number of electrons which are present in outermost shell. If valence electrons are 1, 2 or 3, I am telling you except helium. हीलियम को छोड़कर बाकी किसी भी एलिमेंट के एटम के आउटरमोस्ट सेल में अगर 1, 2, 3 इलेक्ट्रॉन है, देन इट इज द वैलेंसी. ओके, फॉर एग्जांपल हाइड्रोजन 1 इलेक्ट्रॉन, इट इज द वैलेंसी ऑफ हाइड्रोजन. लिथियम 2, 1, इट इज द वैलेंसी ऑफ लिथियम. बेरिलियम 2, 2, इट इज द वैलेंसी ऑफ बेरिलियम. बोरॉन 2, 3, इट इज द वैलेंसी ऑफ बोरॉन. So if there are 1, 2 or 3 electrons, okay, some other examples we can take. Sodium 281, 1 is the valency of sodium. Magnesium 282, 2 is the valency of magnesium. Aluminium 283, 3 is the valency of aluminium. Okay, so in this way, if there are 1, 2 or 3 electrons in the outermost shell, that is the valency. Okay, 1, 2, 3 or we can say 4 also. So that number is known as, if valence electrons are 1, 2, 3, 4, that is the valency. If it is 5, 6, 7 or 8 in the outermost cell, then the valency is calculated by subtracting these electrons from 8. So valency of, if 5 electrons are there, how can we calculate the valency? For example, nitrogen 2, 5, oxygen 2, 6, fluorine 2, 7. So what would be the valency of nitrogen? It can be calculated by subtracting these electrons from 5. So 3 would be the valency of nitrogen. Okay. Second one, how can we find out the valency of oxygen? By subtracting these outermost electrons from 8. 2 is the valency of oxygen. 8 minus 7, 1 is the valency of fluorine. So if there are 5, 6, 7 electrons or 8 electrons, 8 means 8 minus 8, 0 valency. These are the noble gases which do not react with other atoms. Okay. So in this way, the valencies can be found out easily. Thank you. Hope you are clear about the electron distribution and valencies of the elements or the atoms. Thank you so much.